Hi, this is 365801 and this is a Buzzword 2023 Reading Challenge TBR and recommendations video.
So this is the 12th and final TBR and recommendations video for the Buzzword Reading Challenge for 2023. This is obviously hosted by Kayla from Books and Lala. Go over to her channel, check it out. I think this is her 3rd or 4th year hosting it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be getting 2024's announcement video from her soon, so we can start planning what we're going to be reading in 2024. I do enjoy doing this. So yeah, we have December, and December's month is all about sound related words. So of course, Kayla has some recommendations and some examples on her channel, so you can go and check out the video to see. But obviously it is a thematic one, so it gives a lot more leeway as to what we can and cannot have. And sometimes it's just easier to go through my drawers than it is to look at my spreadsheet. So let's just go through the drawers. Now I do have my lights on, so you might see some shadows. Please excuse that. It's getting darker and darker as we are into the winter time. The nights are fade drawn in, as we say in Scotland. So yeah, let's have a look what we've got in the drawer. The first one I look at is I hear the sunspot, but hearing is not a sound related word. It's a hearing related word. So you can listen and hear, but it's not necessarily the sound. It's not something that produces the sound. So I'm thinking more along the lines of the example that she came up with, Kayla, was song. So here we have the Song of Yoru and Asa and the Song of Yoru and Asa Encore. These are obviously Harada's works, published by Kuma. Absolutely fantastic. Quite hard-hitting, not particularly likable characters, not particularly likable actions, and a kind of corrupt kind of love story, which Harada does so well, which is why I was able to pick these up for quite cheap. I think one of them I got on Amazon, but the other one I got secondhand, because people will just not like the story and not want to continue. So I was very happy to have this. So yeah, the Song of Yoru and Asa, because song is a sound related word. Now the next one I've got here, I'm not entirely sure. Well, this one I definitely am sure, and I specifically brought it because I knew it would be. Warning, Whispers of Love by Puku Okuyama. This is a junior manga title I have not read, and specifically brought it with me so that I could read this year. And whispers is a sound-related word, so I'm definitely going to be putting this on my TBR so that I can read it. I know Puku Okuyama has a few titles in English, not many. Maybe 3 or 4. I need to check on Renta. But yeah, not many in print either. So this one is one that I'm really excited about reading because I've had it in my collection for a long time and never actually read it. So I'm looking forward to that. Now the one I'm not entirely sure of is Cafe Latte Rhapsody. Would you say rhapsody is a sound related word? Because song is. So would rhapsody? I don't know, I feel like that's related to music in some way. So if it's music related, then you could, I don't know, maybe? Let me know what you think. Is Rhapsody allowed or is it not? This is a Toko Kawaii title, also junior manga, and also one I have not read, hence the reason why I brought it. Made sure I had it with me. So yeah, I do want to read a lot more Toko Kawaii. I want to read all Toko Kawaii. Especially the ones that are unread in my collection. So yeah, this one is also going to go on my list. Now, this one I wouldn't normally put on, but it is still the word song. And that is obviously the songstress Utahime. So Utahime has the word uta, which is song or sound, and hime meaning like princess, or in here they've called it the songstress. This is an Aki work. This is a DMP one, so it's kind of a slightly different from junior mangas imprint, and it's kind of BL-esque, like everything that Aki does. Like everything that Aki does has that sort of underlying male sexual tension. Even if it's just bromance, there's some sort of tension. But yeah, I definitely think this could go on my list, and I hadn't even thought about it. Now, this is one I also would like to put on my list, and that is Laugh Under the Sun. Laugh is a sound, so this is a Yugi Yamada title, and it's got its plastic on. Now, I have 2 copies of this. Somewhere is my other copy. And this one still has its plastic on. I feel like I should check the other one and see if it's got its plastic on, and just read the one without the plastic. So I haven't read this copy, and I don't think I've actually read this one. Yugi Yamada, like Toka Kawaii's, is a mangaka that I'd like to read everything from. So, yeah, this is definitely going to go on the list of ones I want to read everything. And so Yugi Yamada, Laugh Under the Sun is probably a good one. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this one will work. Don't say anymore, darling. This is a bit like the Rhapsody one. Like, does it count? Does it not? Because if you're speaking, you're making a sound. But if you don't say anymore, I don't know. Let me know. What do you think? This is obviously a Fumiyoshi Naga title by June Manga. And also another one that I haven't read because it was in my other collection. And I've had it in these drawers for a long time now. And I haven't actually got around to reading these ones. So, Don't Say Any More, Darling could go on the maybe pile. You let me know. What do you think? Does this count or does it not? Here is another one that I think would count because cry can be a sound. Little Cry Baby, Keiko Kinoshita. This is another Junior manga title, obviously. And also, Keiko Kinoshita is another one that has quite a few titles that I have not read and that I'd like to get everything read from. And this is another one that I haven't read. So there's quite a few in this video unread for my TBR. So yeah, Little Cry Baby. I think Cry should definitely count. I think Kayla did say things like cackle and stuff like that counted. So I think Cry should count as well. Now the next few might be a little bit tricky to get out. So I'm going to maybe remove some of these. This one, do you think this should count? This is called Duetto by Aoi Kujo. Another junior manga one I have not read. It's a duet, so that's a sound word, maybe? I'm putting this in the Rhapsody category of, does this count, does it not? Please let me know. What do you think? It's kind of a sound-related word, but I'm not sure if it 100% fulfills the premise of the category. So yeah, let me know what you think. Now this one I know counts because I'm pretty sure that Kayla did say sigh in her examples, and this is Sighing Kiss by Ryu Yamakami, another one that has quite a few titles. I need to make sure that I'm reading them all. And also another one I haven't read. There's so many junior manga titles that I own that I haven't read because they were so prolific, just churning things out. Not all of them great. Not all of them brilliant. I kind of feel like Tokyopop is a little bit like that now. Like, all of their titles, they're churning them out. And some of them are hits and some of them are just, meh, that was okay. And I kind of feel like this is the case with some of these, which is why I'm less inclined to make sure I pick them up. But yeah, Sighing Kiss. Sigh is definitely a sound-related word, and I can put this on my TBR. Now we're in the Be Beautiful and Blue drawer, and I'm pretty sure that we've got a few. The first one being an actual sound. Sound of My Voice by Yokanita Boku no Koe, which means my voice, or yeah, the things I say. This is another one that I have not read, and Yokanita is another prolific author that's had a lot published and I haven't read, so this could definitely get added to the TBR. So this one I'm not entirely sure. What do you think? This is going in the maybe pile. Calling by Miyu Otsuki. Now Miyu Otsuki is one of the opposite kinds of mangaka, who has a lot in Japanese, but I think only this one title in print in English. which kind of feels a bit like, oh, this is the one. This is the one they brought over. I know I've read it, but it's been such a long time, and now I'm looking at it, and I remember how like sensual and sexy her artwork is, that I'm like, oh, I kind of want to read this one. So yeah, call is a sound related word, right? So calling should count, shouldn't it? What do you think? Now for this, I need to take out these ones. Here we go. The loudest whisper. Whisper is a sound related word. This is a obviously blue title. Temari Matsumoto, who also did Kyo Karamao, which is why Kyo Karamao had so much BL fangirls, because if someone who has produced some BL work produces something that's supposed to be slashable, then, then you're going to get a lot of people interested. So I have not read this. It took me a while to get these volumes 1 and 2. And this one has a little bit of damage on the spine, you can see. Or maybe you can't. It's a little bit cracked. But it's still pretty good in terms of like being able to turn the pages, so no problems. So yeah, I've not read this one either. There's a lot in this category I have not read. Now the next one is voice or noise, which comes down to 2 words in the category, voice and noise, which are both sound related words. Isn't that crazy? So this is like I don't know, 5 or 9, I don't know. There was a lot of volumes produced in Japanese, and Blue, obviously, they only published 3 volumes. So this is just a 3 volume in English Yamimaru engine story, and it's to do with like, is it like being able to hear animal voices? I don't know, because I've never read it, and I kind of want to. Like, I really want to. I feel like it's time. It is time to maybe give this a go. I think I read maybe the first volume. I can't actually remember. So yeah, 3 volumes, and I should probably give this one a read and put it on my TBR. Now we're into the Sublime drawer, and we're looking for things. And the first one is obviously awkward silence. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, you've read that, haven't you? Yes. So obviously Hinako Takanaga, another incredibly prolific in English mangaka, BL mangaka. There are 6 volumes, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as you can see, these last 2 still have their plastic on. I have read 1, 2, 3, and part 4. And that's as far as I got. I haven't actually read it, so I need to do it. But that's a whole 6 volume series. So I kind of want to, because I want to finish this series that's been finished for a long time. There's no excuse. I have no excuse for not reading this. And yeah, I haven't. So yeah, awkward silence. Obviously, it's about someone who's unable to communicate as well as he would like to on the outside. But on the inside, he is very expressive. So yeah, an awkward silence one, with silence being the sound word. Okay, so we are now in the Net Comics drawer, and I'm guessing this is the only one I can find, which is Intense Soft Sounds. So it does have the word sound in it. This is volume 2 of the 4 volume series, and I have not read it. It took me a while to actually collect them all, and then as soon as I had, I was like, yay, I'll read that together at some point in time, and I haven't actually got round to reading it. Another one that I haven't actually read that's in my collection that is now complete, which is terrible, but there you go. So yeah, Soft Sounds. I don't think I want to read this Kyung-ha Yi manhwa, but I will put it on the list. That you certainly can if you want to, or if you already have, that's great. But I have not, I don't know if I want to put a 4 volume, just like Awkward Silence, a 6 volume series on my TBR for this month. But yeah, knowing that this would be good, I think, to eventually I will get around to reading this. So we're in the next drawer, and another Say has appeared, and I'm less inclined to put this on my TBR than Don't Say Anymore, Darling. Say Please by Kano Miyamoto. This is obviously a duo title, and it still has its plastic on, and there's a reason for that. I like one Kano Miyamoto title. Kano Miyamoto is also a prolific one, but she's only had a few things come over, and that's because she is super problematic. I like Sleeping Moon, and that is problematic, but it's less problematic than some of her other works. She does have another J title as well, which is somewhere in the drawer. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. And I read it and I was like, I'm not impressed, and I'm actually a little bit disturbed. So yeah, she has a problematic way of telling stories. So I could put this on, but I'm certainly not going to go out my way to read this one. And the other one in this drawer is Otodama, which is Voice from the Dead. And so it has voice in the title. Oto is also a sound word in Japanese. So I think this would definitely count. It's about someone who can hear the dead in it's like a mystery investigation type thing, but I've only actually read volume 1, which is why I brought my volume 2, which still has its plastic on. I think it had a volume, correct me if I'm wrong, did it have a volume 3 in Japanese that we didn't get? I don't know, I can't quite remember. That might have been Spiritual Police, so maybe it is complete in 2 volumes. But Yokanita unfortunately has a bad habit of not having all of her series completed in English print, which is really annoying because everyone would like to have them. You know, like, you don't want to start a story and then not find out who the murderer is or who the bad guy is, or, you know, something like that, especially if it's like a mystery like that. But yeah, Otodama, Voice from the Dead. At the moment in English, we have the 2 volumes. If I read them both, I would find out whether or not it did, and I could let you know. But part of me not knowing is what's stopping me. But yeah, I can put it on my TBR anyway. Okay, so this is everything that I found in my drawers that could be possibly used in a TBR for this month, December, the very final one, and is in some way sound related. Obviously, there's a few that are in my collection that I haven't got here. I went back and had a wee look at my spreadsheet and found a few. The first one being A Murmur of the Heart, which is a 2-volume kind of standalone series. This is based in a hospital. So the murmur of the heart isn't actually a murmur, but it's still a sound. So I think it could count. I also have one that's called Shout Out Loud. This is a blue title, 5-volume series about explorations of sexuality and bisexuality and a father and son. Very odd, slightly feels like it may end up being incestuous. Maybe not, that kind of thing. But yeah, Shout Out Loud was a really interesting 5-volume series by Blue. And then the last one is Yokan, which is another 2-volume series. This is volume 2 that has the subtitle Noise. Yeah. Both Yokan and A Murmur of the Heart are Tatuno Makoto Tatuno series. So obviously, yeah, go in with that knowledge. I have always been like, I'm not too sure about Makoto Tatuno, but then some of her things I do enjoy. But yeah, so there's a few that were in my spreadsheet that I don't have here in this collection, but these are the ones that I do, and it's a fairly substantial stack. I've put the ones on the left, the ones I'm pretty sure are good, and the ones on the right are maybe at a stretch. So if you have them, you could use them if you wanted, I think. But there's so many that I haven't read. So I haven't finished Awkward Silence, I haven't finished Otodama. The Song of Yoronasa will not be going on my TBR because I have read them already this year, which means I've kind of already done this. I guess I've done this, I've completed this challenge. Warning, Whispers of Love, I've not read. Sound of My Voice, I've not read. Calling, I know I have read, but it's been several years since I got this. and I got it and I read it straight away. The Loudest Whisper, not read. Voice or Noise, not read. Intense, not read. Utahime, I have read. And I can't remember if I read it this year or last year. I'd have to check. Laugh Under the Sun, have not read. Little Crybaby, have not read. Sighing Kiss, have not read. Duetto, have not read. Don't Say Anymore Darling, have not read. Say Please, have not read. Cafe Latte Rhapsody, have not read. So the majority I have not read, which means I could read any of these in December and tick it off. But yes, The Song of Yoronasa, I was very happy to get and read this year. So technically I have already completed this challenge if you only need to read one thing. But there are so many titles in this pile that get me excited that I kind of want to read, even ones that I have put off for years. Actually just seeing them in front of me is like, yeah, you want to read these. So hopefully you have found something you would want to read to complete this challenge. Sound related words. And if you can think of any other BL titles that I have not got, because obviously there are a few that are in my collection that I haven't actually maybe missed, or ones that are not in my collection, or maybe I only have them digitally, and you've got them in physical, let me know. Are there other sound related BL titles, or even better, some webcomics, because I feel like that might be next year's challenge, is to complete the Buzzword reading challenge, reading webcomics. That might be something that I try and do. So yeah, let me know what do you think, and thanks for sticking with me for these 12 different videos, all with the different buzzwords. I hope you found some interesting things to read. Maybe you've been able to complete and create a TBR. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this next year. I hope I can, because I've really enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed these videos too, or at least found them useful or interesting. So yeah, thanks everyone. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!